Hi, my name is Erica Washington Jennings Taylor. Yes, it's a long name, but that's me. I am an Imagine Hope Tolson teacher. I am a special education teacher. I teach grades kindergarten through 4th grade, and I absolutely love Imagine Hope Tolson. This is my 3rd year at Imagine Hope Tolson. This is my 4th year in DC. I'm not from DC, however, I feel like DC is like my second home. When I moved to DC, I really was excited about becoming a teacher. In DC, I wanted to make sure that I was able to touch students that I feel like sometimes are overlooked just because of where they live, or overlooked just because of the color of their skin, or overlooked just because of their gender, or what they may not possess to what society's status quo is. And so me being in DC has really impacted not only my life, but I've seen it impact the lives of the students that I work with, and most importantly, the families that I work with. Prior to coming into this classroom, I had my own preconceived notions of how the classroom would be. I figured that the classroom would be full of students who have the ability to learn but have been defeated over the years because they haven't been successful in their education. I felt like I would come into parents who haven't been successful in helping their children, or felt like the school wasn't successful in helping their children. However, when I came into Imagine Hope Tolson, it was about 50-50. I did have about 50% of my parents who just had given up with the school and just said, we're just going to keep our children here because it's convenient for us. And then I had another 50% of parents who said, I'm going to give you one more shot to prove to me that this school can, give my child a quality education. So I said, okay, I have a lot of things stacked against me. However, I know the potential that's in each and every one of the students that will come through my door. And I know that it's up to me to make sure that I give them that quality foundation, because the sky is the limit. However, you can't get to the sky if I never give you the fuel to make sure your rocket flies. So I think my main goal when I come into my building every day is to make sure that in everything that I do in my classroom and everything that we say in our classroom, it changes the stigmatism of special education. Special education is not a demotion. It is not a negative thing. It just means that you have unique learning abilities, and it means that we need to tackle the disability part of it and figure out what are your abilities and how to make sure that you are able to succeed in life, in your education, because we want to educate the whole child. We want to make sure that when the students come into class, they understand that I'm not here because I did something wrong. I'm not here because I'm bad. I'm not here because I'm stupid. I'm here because I need just a little more help. And as I get the help, I get better. And as I get better, I get more confident in myself, and I'm able to do the things that I want to do in life, and ultimately I'm able to do the things that I need to do to survive in life. The goal that we should always keep in mind, that we try to always teach our kids, is that you may be here for a season, but it's not permanent. And a season may be a year, a season may be 3 years, a season for some may just be a couple of months. But we want you to understand that while you're in here in this season, you have a team and family that's helping you. You have a team and family that's going to be there for you in the good times and in the bad times. We're here when you triumph, and we're here when maybe you fail, but we're going to make you get back up, and we're going to push you to keep going. Because the main thing is, you need to understand that this is a stepping stone, and everything in life is going to be a step. And we want you to get up, step up, get up, step up. So one of my motivations that really impacted my life as a person and my life as a teacher was my mother. My mother is an educator. My mother has been an educator for over 20 years now. She initially did not want to be a teacher, and she saw that going into education really helped mold the person that she is, thus molding me. I originally didn't want to be a teacher. I fought against it. I said, no, that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to medical school. I even went to college, and I was like, oh, sign me up for the med classes. I'm not doing education. But no matter what I did, education always came back around, and it became the thing that was the cornerstone that tied into my life. My family is a family of where education matters. Education is a big deal in our household. My grandfather only had an 8th grade education, and he always told us my family had to push harder because he couldn't push harder in education the way he wanted to. He would always say to me before I went to school, remember, I stopped my education to take care of my family, but my family's education is what's going to take care of them in life. And I never understood it as a child. And as I got older, I started to understand. He sacrificed his education so that I could have one. So how dare I not make sure that somebody else had an education? So that is one of the reasons that I am the teacher that I am today. I teach not just because I'm good at it. I teach not just because I actually have the skill to do it. I teach because I understand there are so many who sacrificed so that I could get a good education. There's so many who worked harder than they had to so I could get a good quality education. And there are so many people who are dependent on me to use my education to change the world. And it's not just people in my family. My students depend on me to make sure that I use my education to help educate them. It really does take a village, and even if nobody else wanted to partner with me, I'm gonna be my own village and make sure that every child that comes into my village leaves with something that's gonna help build their foundation for life.
My name is Dante Smith, and I'm in 6th grade Miss Taylor's class. Back when I was younger, Miss Taylor helped me with math and reading because I had a bad time. I had a very, very bad time struggling with math and reading. She helped me with these things called arrays. They helped me do math, timetables, subtraction, and addition. I'm now one of the tops, highest reading and math in my class. I have honor roll on reading, math, principal list, reading, and math. I think Ms. Jennings Taylor should be the teacher of the year because all the students that I have seen struggle, she has helped. Now they're just pushing through their STAR test.
So I had to build a family in the classroom. One of the main things that we pride ourselves on here at Imagine Hope Tolson is we are team and family. And so I had to make sure that, number one, my students understood that I'm on your team and I am going to treat you like my family. I may not always agree with you, you may not always agree with me, but the love will never change. And once I established the culture of I love you and I'm going to push you hard because I know the potential in you, I can see what you may not be able to see right now, or you may not be able to see it right now because you feel like there are so many walls up, but I can see past that. That's the job of a teacher, to push you past what the current situation is and to push you to where you had to go. Not only did I build a team and family relationship in my classroom, I had to build it outside of the classroom with the parents. A lot of my parents felt like the school had failed their child. A lot of the parents just felt like this is just a holding pattern and I don't know what's gonna happen next. So I had to build relationships with my parents. I had to let my parents understand, yes, I am gonna push your child. Yes, I require a lot of you, but I'm also concerned with what goes on in your household. I'm also concerned if there's something that the school can do to partner with you to make sure that you understand this relationship is working together. It's a two-way street. If I say to you, oh, I don't care what happens outside of this classroom, just when they come in here, you have a distaste in your mouth for me. However, I made sure that my parents understood. I know life happens outside of this classroom. I would be ignorant if I said I didn't understand it. So I have to make sure that not only do I encourage your child in the classroom, but I encourage you outside of the classroom so that we can say we work together to get your child to the next level. So when I first came into the classroom, I noticed that all of the students were given the same level work. There's no possible way that you can go into any classroom and every student in the class needs the same exact work at the same exact level because all students are different. The goal of special education is to give the child an individualized education plan. I want to give you what is specifically going to work for you because that's what's specifically going to help you grow. So coming in, looking at the curriculum, I realized I had to break up everything into groups. Okay. So where a normal class may have 1 or 2 groups, but we're all working on pretty much the same thing, I have 4 to 5 groups, and we're all working on different things, and sometimes, or we may be working on different grade levels at some time. However, everybody is getting just what they need. It was intricate, it was planned out, it was thought out for each student. However, it was time consuming, but at the end of the day, I realized this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do, and I would fail as an educator if I don't plan to be very intricate and differentiate for each and every one of my students. For instance, I have one student, Dante. When Dante first came in, Dante had some challenges. And a lot of the challenges was because he wasn't challenged enough. We knew the potential was there, but the previous teacher had only given him surface level potential. She had just scratched the surface, whereas he was a diamond in the rough, and he really needed that extra push to say, you can do this, but I'm gonna work you, you're gonna work with me. And my philosophy is, I work you hard and I expect more because I know you can do more. And I've always said this to my students. And it was one of those things, sometimes we would have tug of war battles. I don't want to do this, but you need to do this. But at the end of the year, it paid off for him. So I've also had another student, and this student is probably very dear to my heart because, I'm sorry. When he first came to my classroom, he was so scared. He was scared to even try. And he had so much potential in him. He just was like, Miss Taylor, I don't know anything. And I was like, you do know stuff. You know a lot of stuff. And he just would say, no, because in my other classes, they tease me, they talk about me, they say I'm dumb and I'm always gonna be dumb. And so it really broke me as a teacher because I was like, what do I do to make sure that he sees the potential in himself? Because this is just a stepping stone for you. And if I can't get you past this stepping stone, life is gonna be very hard. So I really dug in with Khalil and I was like, you tell me the things that interest you. You tell me the things that Miss Taylor needs to do to make sure that you're successful. And his main goal was, I want to be able to read better. I want to be able to do my math better because I want people to understand that I have goals and I have dreams, but they just see that I can't read right now. So they think that I don't know how to do anything. I'm sorry. So what I did with Khalil was, a lot of Khalil's plans were more intricate as far as we dug into the fact that he struggled with reading, but he was amazing in math. But as the math increased, the math got harder for him and he started to shut down. So we started attacking different segments of math that he was good in, and then we were throwing a segment that he wasn't good in. And so we kept building upon this. I kept calling mom in and I would say, okay, we're doing this. We've mastered this. This is what we need to work on next. And because I had built a relationship with mom in previous conversations, she trusted me. She knew that I wasn't gonna lead her son astray. She knew that I was leading him down the right path because I knew what the ultimate goal was. And the ultimate goal was to get him to cross over. And because we worked this plan very intricately, and it was hard at first because you have so many students that you want to give every student their own individual thing, and you think to yourself, I don't have enough time to give everybody my own individual. However, you figure out a way to plan it out, and you are dedicated to what you're doing, and you figure it out. And so we gave Khalil what he needed. We gave each and every student what they needed. And I can say to this day and right now, Khalil has been able to cross back over. He's going out into the gen ed population. He's making strides. He's doing just as good or better than his regular gen ed peers. And it's not because, I totally can take all the credit, but it's because we built up his confidence. We made sure that he understood he had a voice. He needed to be heard. We made sure that we attacked those deficiencies, but we also showed him all of his strengths, all of the things that he had, all of the things that he possessed, and all of the things that he could offer to his class and to his school community. And as we built up those levels in him, it was amazing just to see him blossom. It's almost like taking a seed and you found a seed on the ground, and the seed is nowhere near the soil. And then you say, okay, I'm gonna plant the seed. I'm gonna water this seed. I'm gonna make sure that I till the soil. I'm gonna make sure that every little thing this seed needs is given to it. I don't have to, go above and beyond. I just have to do just what I need to do for this seed. And when you start cultivating that seed, you're just gonna see it bloom.
So I actually had a student in my class last year who was in pre-K who went on to join Miss Jennings Taylor's class this year, and I was so happy to find out that he would be in her hands because I knew that he would be in good hands with her. He was one of those scholars that needed that extra love and support and attention, and he couldn't just be with just any teacher. But he has been doing so well with her, and I often, come up and check on him. And he's so comfortable, even with the big change from going downstairs to upstairs. He's comfortable in his class. He's happy. He loves his teachers. And I really attribute that to her because she takes that time to build those relationships with her students and get them comfortable enough to, be open to all of the things that she's trying to teach them. And definitely I would say from the leadership standpoint, she's a great leader for her academy members. She exemplifies justice, integrity, and fun, our shared values on a daily basis. And I see that because I see how she interacts with her academy members. I see that they're open, just like her students are comfortable in going to her. The staff members are also comfortable going to her as well. And I'm actually inspired by her in the way that she deals with her colleagues because she gives them, the justice that they need in giving them what they individually need. She doesn't treat everyone the same. And she operates with integrity because you can come into Ms. Jennings Taylor's class at any time and they're always on point. It doesn't matter if the principal's out the building. It doesn't matter if, we're not doing a formal walkthrough this week or next week. Like, she's consistently on track and moving her scholars. And so her colleagues, they see that. And that's why she is a model leader because they see what she's doing and they want to, do that as well. She is also known around the building for moving her students. Like, her learning gains are amazing. And I know a lot of times, some teachers, I would say, when you're real hot and you're known for doing something, they kind of try to keep it to themselves, like not let everyone in on the secret. But she's really, really open as far as helping out everyone and, sharing, collaborating, letting us in on what she's doing in her classroom, like allowing teachers, parents, scholars, other scholars to come into her classroom and see what it is that she's doing and how she is differentiating her lessons to her group of students, how she's able to move them, the different activities that she's doing. So I definitely think that she's an asset to our learning community because she is for the people and for the scholars at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if it's just scholars within these four walls. She thinks about all of the scholars in the whole school, so in helping all of the teachers, she's helping all of our students as well. So I just think that she's a wonderful person and a great candidate for Teacher of the Year because she's an excellent teacher and an excellent staff member, colleague, friend, all of that. Ms. Jennings Taylor is such a strong woman, and I truly respect her because of the multiple roles that she plays. Not only is she a teacher who plans and instructs at a high level to move her students, but she's also an advocate for her scholars. She sees them through their daily struggles and she helps them. She is a mother to her scholars, and she is that nurturing woman in their lives, that positive role model to these scholars. And for those reasons and so many others, that is why I think that Ms. Jennings Taylor should be the National Teacher of the Year.
Hello, I'm Ms. Baylor. I'm a spirit paraprofessional at Imagine Hope. I've been working with Ms. Taylor for 3.5 years. Working side by side with Ms. Taylor has been a great learning experience. The organization that she has in the classroom, the planning, the structure, she's very in-depth with everything that she does. She's an amazing teacher. I've learned different strategies, techniques. Teaching multiple grade levels is a hassle, and she just taught me how to bring it all together. One way Ms. Taylor ensures that her scholars understands the curriculum is she models it for them. She'll draw it out, she'll act it out. We'll be in here acting together. She gives positive feedback. She asks questions so the scholars can give feedback. When the scholars give feedback, that gives her the push to move forward. That gives her I did what I had to do, let's move them forward. For all the qualities that I just expressed, that's why I feel as though Ms. Taylor should be the National Teacher of the Year.
My name is Khalil Taylor, and I'm in Ms. Taylor's 4th grade class. Miss Taylor helped me with all my math and ELA work. That's what got me up to Mr. Chisholm's class. And now I know that when I first came to Miss Taylor's class, I didn't know how to read or didn't know how to do my math, but she helped me with it, and that's how I moved to Mr. Chisholm.
Hello guys, my name is Sanchez. I'm the behavior specialist here at Imagine Hope, and I'm here to speak on Miss Taylor. Wonderful, wonderful classroom management. Oh my goodness. As a behavior specialist here, we love to see teachers, especially like Miss Taylor, have their classrooms totally under control in the hallway. They're on level 0, and she has complete control of them. And we love, 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 love having her here as well. Thank you so much for all you do, Miss Taylor, and good luck.
Hello, I am Georgia McElroy, and I'm the proud principal of Imagine Hope Tolson in Washington, D.C. This is my first year at Imagine Hope Tolson, and I've had the pleasure to work with Erica Jennings Taylor. Miss Taylor is Imagine, and I say that she's Imagine because she personifies our shared values of justice, integrity, and fun. One I'd like to really speak about is integrity. Miss Taylor is a master at giving all the students what they need specifically. And that's just not something you say or tagline, because that's something that's hard to do in education. But she does it. She works hard at doing it, and she's intentional about doing it, which is why her scholars make such gains, why they love her so much, why the parents love her, and why the staff respects her. When we talk about in PD, Miss Taylor is an academy leader. She's an instructional leader for her team. She's a mentor teacher. She's also filling in as the interim SPED department leader. Anywhere we need Miss Taylor, we can count on her to be. I've asked her several times to go into a class. She says, no problem, I got you, are the words that she uses. So she gets the job done and does what needs to be done at our school. And if I could have more Miss Taylors in the building, there's no telling where we could go at Imagine Hope. Living out our shared values, justice, integrity, and fun, going above and beyond, and servicing our students on an individual basis, giving them what they need to achieve are the reasons why Erica Jennings Taylor should be the Teacher of the Year.
So not only are we growing our students academically, but we want to grow them socially. We want to make sure that we're developing good character inside of them. And then on top of that, we want to make sure that they're able to advocate for themselves. They're able to speak up, to use their voice. So in our classroom, because we are team and family, we make sure that we teach every student in the class, you have an opinion and it should be heard. You have an opinion and everyone should know about it, but it's a way that you address your team and your family. We also teach these students self-advocating skills, because a lot of times students with special needs are overlooked because they're quiet, they may be timid, they may not understand how to deal with a bullying situation or how to deal with a situation when they're overlooked or underestimated. So we make sure that we reassure them and we gird them up with the skills they need to be a self-advocating person. So I am a person who stays late. I know sometimes the facilities will be like, are you still here? Are you leaving? Are you spending the night, Miss Taylor? However, I find it helpful to stay late sometimes, only because it gives me a chance to regroup after the end of the day. It gives me a chance to contact parents. It sometimes gives me a chance to see parents that I don't get to see in the morning. It gives me a chance to tutor some students that need to be tutored. And it also gives me a chance to make sure that I'm not just focused inside of my classroom, but I'm helping my peers outside of my classroom. I want to make sure that even in the position that I am in as a teacher, I'm also in a position as a leader. So I want to make sure that I'm showing my peers, if you need help, I'm here to support you. Because at the end of the day, it does take a village. And it doesn't just take a village to raise a child, it takes a village to educate a child. What I might do in my class may not be working, and I can reach out to a peer and they can give me something that works, and vice versa. What they may be doing in their classroom may not be working exactly the way it should work, and they can say, well, what are you doing? So I feel like that's the way that I can advocate. Now, I'm not staying here to 8 o'clock every night. However, I do know that I take this job very seriously. I feel like I was called. That's what my purpose is on earth, is to be an educator. And I know that in order to do it well, I have to devote some time to it. It's not going to come overnight. It's not going to come by just giving 30 minutes. It is a lot of work, but it's worth the work. So when I first found out that I had been nominated for Teacher of the Year, of course I was excited. I was very excited because I feel like this is something I do well. You know, some people can say, well, I'm a great actor or I'm a great singer, but I can say I do teaching well. That is my passion. That's where, you know, I'm most effective in my life. So it was a great honor. However, I remembered what my mother always used to tell me. You do it not for the glory, you do it for the story. At the end of the day, my story will just be, she was a person that educated children, and I'm happy with that. You know, people can give me every accolade, but if I walked into my classroom and I walked out of my classroom and no student was ever changed, then it would really mean nothing. It would be pointless what I'm doing. But every day that I see each of my students grow, every day that I see students who I used to have come back and say, oh, Miss Taylor, I remember when, or, you know, Miss Taylor, I'm doing good because of X, Y, and Z. Or when I have parents come back and say, oh, my child is phenomenal now because you put in the work and you work with them. Those are the things that I want to hear. I want to hear the stories. I don't necessarily need the glory, but I want to hear the stories. And I want to know that I helped change your child's life in some way. You know, I would love to be the National Teacher of the Year for Imagine Schools, but at the end of the day, it's not going to stop me from doing what I've been called to do.